Mike. It was only business. I always liked him.
All right, so welcome to another one for Al Cuerpo Boxing, which means to the body. So let's get with it. Let's talk some boxing. So it's been a crazy week. We've had unfortunate news and hype, strategic hype and news, noise. I'd rather call it noise more than news on this Jake Paul character that's had a progressive run in combat sports. Again, unfortunately, that was a former Disney actor, really popular on social media, like on Instagram or the Twitter, I guess, or YouTube. Not so long ago, 10 years ago, this guy, Jake Paul, was, the physique that he has now, completely different than his physique years prior. And of course, actors or celebrities, they have the luxury to indulge in human growth hormone, drugs, if you want to call it like that. But that's okay. That's understandable because they're not really regulated. I don't even know. Boxing itself is not regulated. But when you are competing in the high professional level, in this case, we're talking about boxing. Of course, there's still corruption and nothing's perfect, but you have rival promoters that they have to have some sort of like middle ground, and that's when they do anti-drug testing. So what am I talking about with the whole Jake Paul thing? Well, remember that Jake Paul comes more from a celebrity world, for example, like a Tom Cruise or a Mark Wahlberg or what's that one guy that he was in I think it's called The Wrestler. Forgot his name. Good actor, man. Good actor. But anyways, you've got celebrities and actors taking steroids more for like physical appearances. But in this case, going back to Jake Paul, man, Jake Paul with a massive head growth, man. It's totally awkward. If you look at Jake Paul's physique years prior, aside from just bulking up on the torso and the legs, the guy's skull or head is just, it's obvious. And that's the benefit of being an actor, because you're not really focused more on the pro world as far as, let's say boxing. I guess even maybe the UFC or combat sports. I've got some friends over in one championship, and, openly so, and I won't say any names, but as Nate Diaz famously said, everybody's on steroids. So with that being said, and people that know me, I've always been kind of like pro rejuvenation, fast recovery protocols, and that's just the nature of PEDs, performance enhancing, because performance enhancing doesn't necessarily, or it's not exclusive, it's not synonymous to fighting. It's just enhancement to compete, to make sure you hit deadlines, right? And that goes even the Olympic level and other professional industries in sports. So anyways, that's a complicated topic debate. But going back to the whole Jake Paul crap, I'm glad that stuff fell out. For those of you that know me, I've been saying it for months that all this is circulating, revolving the sports washing that's going on in Saudi Arabia, that the whole European UK market, and I guess the Asian market, were the first ones to take advantage, acknowledge the sports washing from Saudi Arabia. Of course, remember, even that was even happening before boxing, guys. Okay, you've got guys like Neymar and Ronaldo, Messi. You got other high-profile athletes, even in tennis, making appearances in Saudi Arabia for their sports washing protocols. And so boxing is now the kind of the latest flavor of these strategies. And it was pretty much, as far as boxing culture and us diehard fans and that know the sport, it's been a Turkey versus all Haymon somewhat of a theme, because, like I said, Frank Warren, Eddie Hearn, Oscar De La Hoya, Bob Arum, they've already been on board. I would say like a year and a half ahead of all Haymon's acknowledgement, because all Haymon's not really in it. He's not part of it. That's the whole thing regarding why the whole Jake Paul thing didn't even happen. Okay, I'll just recap quickly that in order for the PBC to continue its growth in portfolio, when, let's say, Amazon Prime, or let's say even another optimistic network that could be Netflix, they needed Canelo Alvarez. Al Haymon still needed to do events with Canelo Alvarez, because Canelo Alvarez and the PBC, and I've been kind of pro PBC for those reasons. Though I'm like transparent, I like all these businesses to thrive, as long as we get the best fights, or I guess a consistency of years prior, man. Because a lot of credit to the PBC, with their introduction to the game back in 2014, 2015, you kind of have to respect at least what Al Heyman has done for boxing in the last 10 years. Whether you like to theorize or have smear campaigns against Al Heyman, I don't really care about that stuff, but just acknowledge that he has giving us some great fights. And again, Mayweather, Al Heyman is responsible for pretty much making the Mayweather and Pacquiao fight, Mayweather versus McGregor, and then Mayweather versus Logan Paul, the older brother of Jake Paul. So that was Al Heyman's portfolio, and I think Al Heyman kind of like he assumed because Canelo was doing events with him, or he was liking his offers, right? That 80% all inclusive of revenues being a part of the PBC, that maybe Al Heyman thought that Canelo Alvarez would still be on board for better, I guess, strategies. Pretty much because Al Heyman guided Mayweather, that he assumed, or he thought, that Canelo would still continue with the PBC, and I think they did a last minute hope in trying to make a spectacle, guys. Okay, PBC had to literally offer a spectacle. Let me repeat that. PBC had to offer a spectacle for Canelo Alvarez, and Chris Mannix disclosed it, that Canelo was going to make anywhere at least of 100 million just to fight Jake Paul. Okay, so that's what Al Heyman was hoping on, because again, Canelo was happy with his previous offers, his deal arrangements with the PBC. But then here comes Turkey, who has been guiding Terence Crawford, and because I think honestly, I do believe there was some sort of animosity in between in Turkey and Canelo, because that was a recurring theme in the YouTube circuit, in the themes. Journalists have been in the game for a long time. Everybody acknowledged this kind of like grudge between Turkey and Canelo, and you had a lot of people in industry siding with either or, saying that both were right. Okay, and so I always said, and people that know me, I said that in order for Riyadh season to really be established in boxing and to see its growth, they always needed to do events with Canelo Alvarez. Because just think about that, right? They didn't have Canelo Alvarez. Riyadh season, as far as stars, only had Tyson Fury and Usyk, and of course now Inoue. But guys, the whole Riyadh season logo, you want to have that with a Canelo Alvarez event. Canelo Alvarez even superseded Tyson Fury and Usyk years prior, right? So obviously Turkey Al Sheikh and those that are around him, that being Queensberry, Matchroom, of course, Golden Boy Promotions, Top Rank. Obviously, they all know Canelo's worth. It's not even, you don't even need to school that, or I guess it's hard for real fans to not acknowledge that. And so, anyways, Turkey Al Sheikh needed Canelo Alvarez at all costs. Let me repeat that. Turkey Al Sheikh needed Canelo Alvarez at all costs. Okay, so obviously the costs would be higher, and Turkey Al Sheikh has the money. Everybody was hyping up the Saudi Arabian unlimited funds. So, okay, so if we were there, then obviously I knew, and hopefully intelligent fans knew, that Turkey Al Sheikh, with his offerings to Neymar and Ronaldo and Messi and all those guys, if they can do more than 150 million euro, guys, for 1 year appearances, of course they'll be able to afford a Canelo Alvarez and make Canelo Alvarez happy. So I'll go into this. I know where that whole loyalty thing came from. All right? It's a big shock and surprise. And I said this before. I said this months. Everybody knows I said this. I'm so happy I said it too, man, because maybe politics are kind of easy to see. It's not that hard. Or maybe boxing isn't complicated. But when Canelo had said, remember, they're still trying to build the Canelo versus Benavidez, and Canelo at that time, assumingly, was loyal to the PBC, okay? I know that when Eddie Reynoso, even if it's just Eddie Reynoso and Turkey Al Sheikh, but I'm going to say Eddie Reynoso, Canelo, and Al Heyman, when they were doing business together, optimistic business in doing the mega $1 million fights, and remember, At that time, PBC was against Turkey because Turkey was already making big mega million dollar events with like Fury and Usyk, the first fight out in Saudi Arabia. Al Heyman knew that if whatever Canelo said, that Turkey Al Sheikh or the whole Saudi Arabian market would have to offer and match that realistically, because again, Heyman's portfolio is proven. So, I'm so glad I said this, guys. You guys ready for this? I had said many, many times months prior that when Canelo Alvarez said 150 million to 200 million, that's what he was advised to say from Al Heyman or the whole Al Heyman management, whoever's really guiding it. But I'm more than sure it was Al Heyman. I'm going to say that again, guys, that Al Heyman was the one that coached Canelo to say those nine-figure paydays. Because one, it's easy, it's realistic, and Canelo Alvarez is worth more than a Tyson Fury purse. By far, guys. So Al Heyman is not an idiot. He's not stupid. And, of course, Team Canelo right now, so they agree. They're like, of course, yeah, you're right. Most people would know that, right? It's common sense. And so that put pressure on Turkey to offer that type of nine-figure paydays, right? Because Turkey already did it with Tyson Fury. So here comes the loyalty part. That when Eddie Hearn says that Canelo has no loyalty to anybody, maybe that could be translated to like Canelo is more of a transparent businessman. Guys, Canelo took advantage. He used or he benefited the advice from Al Heyman saying 150 million, but he still went over to Turkey. In many views, if I'm trying to do business with somebody and we're planning these strategies, well, yeah, man, if my guy goes with the opposing force and I was helping my guy, yeah, you can say that's betrayal, right? It's that Godfather themes, man. These classic Greek tragedies, if you will. It's really that, man. That's like the whole Martin Scorsese and Francis Ford Coppola type of theme. So that's a real thing, guys. The whole loyalty thing, the whole fallout with loyalty was because Al Heyman told Canelo Alvarez. Al Heyman wanted Canelo Alvarez to sell the Canelo versus Benavidez fight, to get the Riyadh season outfit to acknowledge those purses. But there was a fumble in these strategies, right? The only thing that Turkey got out of it wasn't so much Benavidez and PBC. Turkey's focus was just the number. Like, okay, all right, I can do 150 or 200 million, no problem. And so that's why Chris Mannix disclosed that Turkey Al Sheikh had offered Canelo Alvarez 3-fight deal for 200 million. Of course, with an extra fight, 4 fights, as Chris Mannix said, possibly 250 million or more, 280 million. I had done videos before, guys. I had said 300 million or more. So let's say each fight about 60 million or 75, right? 75 times 4. Guys, it's not that easy. My thing is like how much, because remember, if Canelo has to sacrifice locations going to Saudi Arabia, that means that Turkey Al Sheikh has to offer Canelo a better offer. He has to give him more to sacrifice his Vegas location because Vegas loves Canelo. They do great business. The economy blooms in Vegas when Canelo is doing events. So keep those facts in mind, guys. Like don't think anything but that. As I say always, connect the dots. Make sense out of it. Okay? So that was the whole loyalty thing. And I guess Jake Paul is kind of like also, he's transparent, or he's, how would you say, freestyling within all this drama between either side. Because honestly, I think Jake Paul could care less. Of course, Jake Paul wants to make mega millions, but we know Jake Paul was trolling just because Jake Paul said that he was the A side against Canelo Alvarez. He tweeted that. So just with that, Jake Paul knows that by saying that Canelo's not going to take him seriously. You're not going to tell Canelo that you're the A. A YouTuber can't tell a guy like Canelo that they're A sides. It just doesn't work that way, guys. And most fans know that. So we know that Jake Paul was just used as a toy, as a negotiating tool from the PBC world to hopefully keep Canelo to keep doing business. Because I keep telling fans, guys, without Canelo Alvarez, the PBC's value drops significantly. Just imagine, Al Heyman is doing business. He's doing sit-down meetings with guys at the Amazon Prime market or perhaps other potential buyers. And they say, look, I'm doing this. I can give you Canelo, and I have Benavidez, and I have Tank Davis. I've got 3 crucial stars in boxing, right? So We know Al Heyman is always pitching that. It's proven. Al Heyman has that portfolio. He has all those three guys. But I think Al Heyman didn't expect, guys, Al Heyman didn't expect Canelo Alvarez to leave after help and advice that he gave Canelo to say these nine-figure type of paydays. Guys, that's where the no loyalty theme comes from. And Eddie Hearn has even admitted that himself, because Eddie Hearn thought that Canelo Alvarez would still do business with them. So guys, let me recap. Eddie Hearn and Al Heyman, they had assumed that Canelo Alvarez would have stayed with them because they gave everything that Canelo wanted. Let me repeat that, guys. Eddie Hearn and Al Heyman, the reason why they said Canelo is not loyal, well, Al Heyman didn't say it, but, affiliates of the PBC are saying it, or potential business partners like a Jake Paul, who has been advised to say that stuff, that the no loyalty was a realistic thing. But we knew that, right? Canelo goes where the best offers are. And Canelo has said that many times verbally to the public. If it makes sense, he says. If it makes sense, I'll do it. And so that's where we are, guys, regarding the whole no loyalty. And guess what? Me and some other YouTube pals, some channels, as I always say, I recommend my guy, Boxeo Atomico. Go check out his channel. Most of his streams are in Spanish, and thanks to him and some other guys like El Profesor and some other guys too. This guy named Arnold, he's a funny troll, but he's a good guy. He does Boxeo MX. They all know these things. They all know the political side of boxing, because honestly, guys, it's not complicated. It's easy, actually. And a lot of things that I've said, even made videos, like just recently, these articles and other channels are starting to say it. Okay, but again, guys, boxing is not complicated. So go ahead and go check out those channels that I had mentioned, El Profesor del Boxeo and Boxeo Atomico. They're mostly Spanish geared channels, but they're definitely worth checking out, man. Especially if you want to improve your Spanish, like I'm always trying to. Go ahead and check out their channels, man. So that's what I have on the whole loyalty thing regarding Canelo Alvarez and everybody criticizing Canelo. And the cool thing is that all these channels now are, and I said this again, guys, in another video, that the implosion of boxing after the whole, Canelo Berlanga situation, or I guess 2025 in general. And now that David Benavidez is at 175, narratives are going to change, guys. Themes, agendas are going to change naturally. And this was already foreshadowed. This is already said beforehand. If you want I want to make another video on these insinuations or these things that I'm trying to or foreshadow or say. But you guys are going to be surprised with the new trajectory of David Benavidez, the new trajectory of Canelo Alvarez, the trajectory of the 175 current champions or undisputed champion in Beterbiev and former champ Bivol, but let's call him a champ. Zurdo Ramirez, Virgil Ortiz, Terence Crawford. A lot of things are going to change this year. And mostly because of the circumstances of the Saudi Arabian sports washing, which I don't even know if I want to say unfortunately, because it's more of an optimistic and realistic, and we just have to acknowledge the situation of boxing, guys. Saudi Arabia has taken over the American industry, the American culture of boxing. Saudi Arabians have control, at least for now. It might be like for another 5 or 10 years. Who knows how long it lasts? Again, the Saudi Arabian sports washing is to help, reform their protocols, because I said this months prior as well. Saudi Arabia, they have a lot of non-humanitarian laws, like equal rights for women. It's an Islamic country. There's no alcohol. So they want to kind of get rid of those old stigmas, even though you can't. And I said this, you wouldn't see a paradigm shift for that type of country to even go liberal for another century, guys. That's not going to happen anytime soon. It's not going to happen in our lifetime. And I've said that before. So, but baby steps, right? Literally baby steps. Maybe Turkey al-Sheikh's offspring will push it in the future. But that's where we are now, guys, with the whole Canelo Alvarez has no loyalty. I want to talk more about the technicalities, more the science of boxing, more than talk about the politics. But that's what it is because I said it beforehand, and a lot of my fans and subscribers will know this that I've said this before. And yeah, we just got to keep on cooking and brewing and knowing what's up in the game. But that's what I have for this one, guys. And I'll catch you guys in another new video when I'll talk about Better Bivol. I'll talk about David Benavidez. I'll talk about Canelo versus Alvarez, like the new weights that they're showing, right? Because Terrence Crawford is now weighing, what, 186 pounds. But a lot of that stuff is, it's to sell the fight. It's to make sure you have hopes that this fight will still happen. I have skepticism on all those type of picture leaks as well. But yeah, guys, on to the next one for Al Cuerpo Boxing, which means to the body. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.